Hey everyone! So a lot has happened since my last video on Sonic Frontiers, and I wanted to make just a little update video before the game comes out, which, as of writing this, is only about 2 weeks away, and I am so ready for it.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah!
So today, I'm going to talk about how Sonic Frontiers could potentially be the best Sonic game we've had in a long time. So, let's jump right into this. Also, just a heads up, this video is going to be filled with potential spoilers for Sonic Frontiers. Now don't worry, I'm not going to show any leaked footage or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about stuff that may or may not happen in Sonic Frontiers, so just keep that in mind while you watch this, alright? Alright, now let's go. Let's start with the story, since I feel that's the most important aspect of all this. The story actually looks really good and pretty refreshing for once. It's pretty much just what I was expecting, Sonic having to save his friends from the Starfall Islands. But I really like the way it's presented here. It reminds me a lot of the older, dark era Sonic games, like Unleashed and Black Knight, for example. In fact, a lot of people have compared Frontiers to the two storybook games we got in Secret Rings and Black Knight. And I can definitely see why. And I think it's pretty cool considering how underrated these storybook games are, honestly. Especially Black Knight, that one is super underrated. In the trailer, we see Amy in a prison of some kind, and when Sonic sees her, he actually seems genuinely concerned, like he doesn't just make some dumb joke about it. That really goes to show you how much stronger the writing is this time, thanks to Ian Flynn. Now, Roger Craig Smith often gets criticized for his Sonic voice, purely because of all his jokes and lines, but honestly, I think it's pretty obvious the blame goes to the writers on that one, not Roger. I always thought Roger was a really good Sonic voice actor, and I still do. While he isn't my personal favorite, I still really like him in the role, and I still hope that he continues to play the role as long as possible. It's just the main problem has always been the writing, which is exactly why I'm so glad Ian Flynn is involved this time. We also heard bits and pieces of Roger's new voice in Frontiers, which sounds a lot deeper than his normal Sonic voice, which I like. I really like it. It really shows that more mature Sonic, which really fits for this game. In Sonic Frontiers, there's going to be at least 5 islands in the game. As of now, we only know the name of 3 of those islands. The first 3 islands you go to are presumably the ones that you have to save Tails, Amy, and Knuckles from. There's going to be at least 1 boss per island. One in particular we've seen is the Titan, an enemy so powerful that Sonic needs to transform into Super Sonic in order to actually defeat it. So that presumably is going to mean that for each boss fight in the game, you're going to need to turn into Super Sonic. Although there is a rumor that says that Sonic's going to get a new form at the end of this game, which I hope is true. And I hope it's something similar to Dark Sonic, which is so cool. It's one of Sonic's coolest forms, and I wish it was canon, but oh well. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get something like that at the final boss in this game, but who knows. It actually would make a lot of sense for Dark Sonic to show up, since Frontiers is supposed to be a return to the darker, more mature Sonic stories. And Sonic turns into Dark Sonic because he uses all the negative energy from the Chaos Emeralds, as opposed to positive energy, which turns him into Super Sonic, as mentioned in Sonic Adventure 1. It also would be more interesting if we saw a darker side of Sonic's character that hasn't really been explored in the games yet. They've also confirmed there's going to be cosmetics in the game, including the return of Sonic's soap shoes that we last saw in Sonic Adventure 2, which is awesome. Alright, now let's talk a little more about the gameplay and cyberspace levels. Cyberspace levels I already talked a little bit about in my last video on Frontiers, but I'm going to talk about it a little more in this video. While the gameplay, I talked a lot about it in my last video, so I'm not going to say too much about it here. But anyways, yeah, so the cyberspace levels have become quite the topic of controversy. Now, cyberspace levels are pretty much the same as special stages from older Sonic games, though unlike those special stages, these are completely optional and they aren't necessary for you to get the complete ending of the game. However, they're mainly being criticized for reusing level assets and level layouts from older Sonic games, with people calling them uninspired and lazy. While I do understand the criticisms, at the end of the day, these are just supposed to be like fun, short little levels, and they're purely optional. Like if you want to play them, you can, but you don't really have to in order to actually beat the game. And besides, they do look a lot of fun from what I've seen. I mean, sure, I'm not the one actually playing it, so I don't know for sure, but I mean, hey, from what I've seen, they still look pretty fun. With the gameplay and the cyberspace levels reminded me a lot of the adventure style and the Generations boost style. I imagine they're also good if you want a nice change of pace and if you want a more traditional Sonic playstyle. Speaking of playstyle, we already know Sonic Frontiers is going to introduce a brand new gameplay style. It seems this one is going to appeal to not only old fans of the series, but also newcomers of the series who haven't really played much Sonic games before. So it can be a really nice jumping off point to the casual Sonic fans who aren't really used to the fast-paced gameplay that Sonic is known for, and play something that's a little more slow-paced and requires a little more exploration, and while still appealing to the older fans by giving them a brand new, unique playstyle that pretty much combines the best of all the previous Sonic playstyles we've had before. And of course, finally giving us full-on combat in a Sonic game, which is something I've been waiting to see for such a long time now.
Especially when paired with a new skill called Phantom Rush.
And like I mentioned in my last video, I really hope that in the next Smash game, they will update Sonic's moveset to be closer to how it is in Frontiers. But yeah, what a crazy journey this has been from June to now, where at first everyone thought Frontiers was going to be bad, literally just because we were seeing footage from an early build of the game. Compare that to recently where a lot of people are playing the Sonic Frontiers demo and actually liked it and said that it's actually a really good game. Although, something that happened there that wasn't very good was someone actually stealing the Frontiers demo. Yeah, So, overall, Sonic Frontiers looks amazing, and I'm really glad about that, as all I want is for this game to do well, and for this franchise to do well. Of course, I'll be there when it comes out, and I will make a review of the game after I've beaten it. So be on the lookout for that. And hopefully, if Frontiers is successful, we'll finally get an update on that Sonic Rangers game Sega teased a while ago. Yeah, so when's that game going to come out? Please, I need answers. I really need to know. Please.